All right, everybody. So first of all, welcome. This is the third call of our Coach Basics. It's a 6-week program. This is the third call already. So, I mean, you've been through 2.5 weeks of assignments. We're having our third call tonight. My little girl wants to say hi to all. She already said hi to the people that are on here live, but she wants to say hi to anyone that's watching the recording. This is little Adeline. Can you say hi to everybody? So, and she loves to work with Daddy. She's going to be the youngest 15-star diamond ever in the history of Beachbody when she turns 18 years old. So, oh, you love Daddy. Daddy's got to teach some people right now, okay? All right. So first of all, man, and you guys can probably tell this. So every time we run Coach Basics, I always know, and really what I'm looking for and what the other leaders are looking for is, I mean, who's going to see this through, who's going to engage, who's going to ask questions, who's really going to learn the stuff that we're teaching you guys. You guys have never done coaching before, and so you're here learning the basics. A lot of you have a lot of great comments in the page. You guys are helping each other, encouraging each other. I'm really honestly impressed with the way that you guys are just taking the ball and running with the 5 steps, learning form, spending the time watching that Beachbody Challenge video on how Mike Ryan was forming people, and taking what we've been teaching you throughout the first couple of weeks and really taking grasp of that. I just want to encourage you guys. She's going to go with Mama now. I want to encourage you guys to keep this thing simple. Okay, just keep it as simple as you possibly can. It's really mastering the basics and then doing them over and over again, and understanding our system of what's a challenge group system. Really, what you guys are learning right now is our challenge group system, which is the first thing we have to do is be able to find challengers, right? And then we have to learn how to upgrade those challengers to coaches. The best coaches a lot of times are people who have tried the products first, have used the products for a while, fall in love with what we do as Beachbody, and then eventually upgrade to coach. And so that's part of the process. So right now you guys should be at the point where you have your start date for your group. You should be promoting that group. You should be inviting people to that group. You should be building a list of people who have expressed interest, trying to get them to say yes or no for that group date. And let's say that group date is the 24th. So what I want to talk to you guys about is the importance of when you set that start date for a challenge group is how you follow up with people. So like a lot of times what I'll do, let's say that my group is going to start April 7th. I would promote that right now, and I would gather a list of potential people, and I would start keeping my prospect list, okay? I know one of the assignments from this week was that contact list deal, right? I personally keep something just called a 10 in play list. And so I just keep I'm not real organized. That's one of my downfalls. But what I do is when I promote a challenge group, I'm keeping a list of the people that have talked to me about it that I don't yet have a yes or no. And I try to keep at least 10 names on that list. 10 people I'm talking to about coaching or about being a challenger. Does that make sense to you guys? It just keeps it simple for me. You can use that contact list and fill that whole contact list, whatever you want to do. But I figure if I have about 10 people and I get those people, now what I want to do is make sure that I'm following up. Okay, so write this down. The fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, you want to understand this, that you may have to follow up multiple times with people. That the people that even you have on your list now, they might not say yes right now. They might be a no right now. Does that make sense? But in a month or 2 or 3, they may become a yes. Everybody understand that, okay? So I want you to write this down. A no is not a no forever. A no simply means no, not right now. Maybe another time when I'm ready. Your job isn't to convince every single person right now that it's right for them. Your job is to plant the seeds and let them know you're in business, let them know what you're doing. Take the people that are willing to say yes right now, get them started, and start them towards their journey of creating their own success story with the products. Does that make sense? Help them lose their first 5 pounds, help them finish their first month, help them start drinking their Shakeology every day and doing the things that we do as coaches. When I follow up with people, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll leverage the start date of the group. So let's say your group is starting the 24th. I'm just using that date. I don't know when your group is starting. You may have different dates. But if your group is starting the 24th, I would follow up today and say, hey, listen, if you have not yet got a yes or no from the person, My job is just to make sure that I get them off the list. I want you to think about this. On a list, off a list, on a list, off a list, okay? I want them on the prospect list, and then I need to follow up until I get a yes or no. That's it. I need to figure out where they're at. And when I follow up with people, I just use the start date or the beginning of something as a reason and a purpose to follow up. So when I follow up, it's pretty simple. Okay, it's hey, I know that we talked about that group maybe a week or two ago. I'm not sure if it's something you're still interested in, but it's starting here in a week. And if this was something you still were seriously considering, we need to get you going now so you have your stuff in time. Is this something you still want to do or not? Right? I'm giving them those two options. Is it something you still want to do or not? Does that make sense? Versus trying to talk them into it. Okay, but I'm going to follow up and I'm going to use that date, and I just want to figure out, are they a yes or a no? If they say yes during step four is follow up, right? If they say yes, then I just want to walk them through the enrollment. Great, can we get you enrolled right now? It only takes about 10 minutes. I either want to enroll them on the phone, I want to send them the steps to enroll, on Facebook. But I want to get them enrolled. I want to get the steps to enroll in their hands and leave it to them to follow through with that. Okay, but I need to get them going. And if I leverage the start date of my group, one of the reasons we use start dates is so it gives us a timeline for which to follow up with that list of prospects. Okay, so you guys have been working. You've got a list of people, whether that's 3 people or 300 people. It depends on how hard you've been working. Following up. Now, listen. If they say no. If they say no, they might give you an objection, right? How many of you have ran into objections? Well, I'd like to, but I really just can't afford it, right? Or raise your hands if you've had an objection. I'm looking at you. Okay, I see 1 hand, 2 hand, 3 hand, 4 hand, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm not crazy, right? People oftentimes have objections. Okay, and it seemed to me like just in watching what you guys were talking about, it seems like you guys are grasping the 5 steps, you're grasping form, you're grasping the concept of a challenge group, but you're running into some objections and you're not quite sure how to navigate that, right? And so I wanted to spend a little bit of time tonight just kind of giving you some tips and pointers on objection handling. The first thing that I want to tell you is this, that if you let go of the outcome, then it really doesn't matter, okay? Our job isn't to determine. We're not there to convince everyone to say yes. Our job is to sort them into wherever they're at, right? So our job is to put it in front of them and then let them make a decision that's right for them and try to help guide them along that decision path, all right? Versus trying to make everybody say yes. One of the things but as a brand new coach, you're so eager to succeed that sometimes it can come across as they're doing it for you versus doing it for them. Does that make sense? So So the best way to do this is to say, listen, you know what? I've got a list of people. I really don't care which ones say yes or no. I only need 3. I've got 10 or 15 names on this list. I'm just trying to figure out if you're one of the 3 that I need or not. More people might say no than would actually say yes, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay, right? If a baseball player strikes or hits 300, he's pretty dang good and earns $1 million a year, and he's only 3 for 10, right? So the first thing is understanding that you're going to get a lot of no's. There's a lot of people like Tina Osborne and Liz Bellini are on this call. I'm on this call. That we've been building groups for multiple months or multiple years, right? I have people now that come to me and say, hey, I'm ready to get started. And the first time I spoke to them was 6 months ago or a year ago. Does that make sense? I had a girl just today who messaged me, and I had a conversation with her back in October about becoming a coach and getting a challenge pack. And it all fell through the cracks, and she kept giving me all kinds of excuses. I want you to write that down. Objections are nothing more than just excuses, right? That's really what they are. They're excuses. They're the person's excuses of why they can't do something that they might want to do. But because I just loved her where she was, so write that down. Love people where they're at. Your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to still be here down the road doing the same thing when they decide it's time for them. Does that make sense? Because at some point they will decide. A lot of people will decide down the road, whether it's a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. Really what's important for you is to decide, am I still going to be here 6 months from now when that person that just said no to me finally says yes? Am I still going to be here? If I'm not here, they're going to find another way to get what they want. And I'm never going to reap the harvest for all of those seeds that I planted. Do you guys understand that? Right now, you guys are planting seeds with people. You're just opening up shop. You're letting it be known. Not all of those people are going to say yes. Some people are going to be Weight Watchers. Write this down. Weight Watchers. They're going to wait and they're going to watch. They're going to sit back and they're going to go, oh, you know what? Susie's doing something new again. I'm going to wait a few months to see if this is something she's serious about. I'm going to see if she's still doing this 3 or 6 months from now. I'm going to see if she actually starts helping some people. Your job is to run with the willing. Run, and you want to write that down. Run with the willing. It's easier to run with 10 than it is to drag 100. You're not trying to convince anybody. You're trying to find the people who are willing and wanting to, and then your job is to help them as best as you can get the results they want, right, with that program or as a coach, all right? But some people might have objections, okay? And it might be something that they really want to do, or maybe they're just afraid to tell you no, right? So some people will throw out objections, you know, if they really aren't sure if they want it or not. Objections usually are provoked, and objections can be prevented. A lot of times, this is why the 5 steps works. The reason I follow those 5 steps, and I do that in order, and I slow myself down and consciously think about the fact that I need to ask questions. There's a reason why we ask questions, and it's to give the other person a chance to think things through for themselves before we present them with the information. Does that make sense? If we just try to sell them on the first thing, hey, you know, you should check out this video. I'm doing this challenge group. It only costs, you know, $205. They haven't yet had a chance to think it through. Okay, so a lot of times we get objections when we give them too much information too fast. We actually provoke their objections. When we try to tell them what they want, or we try to tell them where they're at, or we try to tell them what they can do versus asking them questions that lead them down that path, okay? But eventually, you may get objections. I get objections all the time. I might get somebody through the first 3 steps. They watch the video, and then I follow up with them in step 4, and I give them the deal. And maybe they give me a money objection, right? That's probably a pretty common one, a money objection. How many of you would like to hear how I would handle that money objection, okay? How many of you would like to find out how to take a money objection and possibly turn it into 3 to 5 people that actually, because that's what I do with money objections. I can easily do that. So I'm gonna unmute Tina Osborne. Tina, I'm gonna role play with you. So let's say that Tina is somebody who, so I promoted my challenge group. Maybe it was a 21-day fix group. Tina is somebody that, you know, has thought about it, and we got in contact somehow about it. And I already talked to her. I already did the first 3 steps, right? And then I give her the video. She watches it. And then on step 4, I schedule the appointment to follow up. And I follow up with Tina. Write that down. I have to follow up. There's no sense in telling everybody if I'm not going to keep a list of people and follow up with those people. Okay? So Tina, let's just say that let's just start. You already watched the video. And I send you a message and say, you know, hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? Can we jump on the phone real quick? And she says, yes. Let's just do it verbally. Okay, so I get Tina on the phone. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Tina, how are you? It's Tommy.
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
Good, I'm doing good. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that video I sent you?
I did.
Awesome. What'd you like about it?
Well, it seems like it's a great opportunity. Would love to make some extra money.
Okay. Great. Why would you like to make some extra money?
To pay off some bills and to become, you know, pay off a few credit card debts.
Okay.
That would be nice.
So, time out. Just for the record, we're talking about coaching in this one versus challengers. So, also, and I would continue down that path and ask her some questions. And I say, well, Tina, you know, it sounds like this is something that you're ready to do. Did you want to go ahead and get enrolled today?
Well, maybe. How much will it be?
Okay. Well, here's the deal. So I always say, here's the deal. I'm going to give her the deal. At this point in step 4, I can tell her the deal. Okay. And I would say, I wouldn't get a money objection to be but give me a money objection anyway. So here's the deal. We enroll our coaches with the challenge pack. They're going to get the full program of their choice, whether that's T25 or 21-day fix. I think you were looking at the 21-day fix, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you would get your challenge pack, and with that challenge pack, there would be no additional cost to enrolling as a coach. So you're going to pay only for that challenge pack, which comes with your coach account, which gives you the opportunity to both save and earn money. So that you're going to get the full 21-day fix program complete with all of the containers. You're also going to get the nutritional guide. You're going to get your first month supply of Shakeology, which is something that's really important as coaches that we use. And then you're also going to get the free mentorship and guidance of me and our Coach Basics program that we're going to plug you into. All of that is going to cost you only $160 of investment today. How would you like to pay that, with a credit card or a debit card?
Oh, wow. I don't have $160, unfortunately.
Okay. So Tina, let me ask, see, I wanted to do challengers, but because I was going to throw the coaching option at you, but that's okay. Okay, well, tell me more about that.
Well, I just don't have the money right now. You know, I have all these bills I have to pay, and my kids go to private school. I have to pay for that, you know.
Yeah, well, I can completely understand that. In fact, so this is, I want you to write this down: validate and overcome. Validate and overcome. I understand that. Validate that. Does she have a sincere, in her heart, does she have a sincere reason maybe that she doesn't have the money in her heart, right? She does. I can understand that. I know how it is to have money tight. I know how it is to go paycheck to paycheck. I know how it is to have bills coming in more than you have checks coming in, right? And I also know that we could provide her an opportunity to change that situation for the long term, just like we have for many, many other people, right? So I want to validate her objection and then overcome it. Okay, I want to validate her objection and then overcome it. I don't want to argue with her, right? I don't want to, I want you to write this down. You don't want to argue with the objection. My job is, I'm not convincing her. I'm trying to help her make a decision that's good for her, right? Does that make sense? I know in my heart that it's a good decision for her to invest $160 because she potentially can make 160 grand. Is that a good investment? Right? That's a pretty good investment. For $160, you can get started on a business where potentially you can earn 6 or 7 figures if you do it right. And right? Does that make sense? So I know that she's going to probably be spending more than $160 on other crap that isn't taking her anywhere. So I would slow down and ask her, Tina, I can totally understand that. In fact, we've had a lot of people who, really wanted to do the coaching thing. They could see themselves helping other people. They knew that they could use the extra money that they could earn working part-time from home, helping other people with Beachbody products. And a lot of them have struggled to come up with that initial investment of $160. In fact, when I first signed up to be a coach, so here's what I'm going to do. Validate, I'm going to overcome with stories and testimonials. Okay? Overcome with stories and testimonials. In fact, when I first signed up to become a coach, I wasn't even sure if that $160 would go through my already maxed out credit card. I was really, really nervous if I could even cover that $160. And here I am just a few years later, and it's completely changed our financial life. My wife and I now earn over $300,000 a year as Beachbody coaches. We've been able to pay off all of our credit card debt. We've been able to also, pay cash to travel all over the world and all of those things. And so while I understand, where you're at currently and that things are tight right now, I would also love to help you get started on this so that you don't have to be struggling a few months from now, and that you have that extra money to pay that. So I want you to write this down. Would you? Okay. Would you? Okay. If I could show you a way that you could immediately break even and earn all of your money back, would you be willing to come up with that $160 as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay. When would as soon as possible be?
When would I like to get started, do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, would you be able to come up with that today, or would Friday after your payday be better?
Well, if you're telling me I could get it paid back right away, then I could probably come up with it today.
Okay, great. So welcome aboard. Why don't you go ahead and log into your computer, and then I would walk her through the steps. I need to ease her pain by letting her know, hey, you can break even pretty quick with this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Does that make sense? When we take people through the quick start, that happens. Okay. And I might actually ask her a question like this. Tina, let me ask you a question. Do you already have just even a few people that might be interested in joining a challenge group, just like you did with me?
Yeah, actually, I do have a few people that I've been talking to about it, and they seem to be interested. So.
Okay, great. Well, did you realize that if we could just get even 3 people of yours to go ahead and enroll and get on a challenge pack, you would earn more than enough money to cover the cost of signing up, and you'd be doing this for free?
Oh, wow. No, I didn't realize that.
Okay. Does that sound like something you'd be willing to do?
Heck yeah.
Great. Why don't we go ahead and get you enrolled? Are you sitting at your computer?
Yep.
Okay. So that's I want you to write this down. Validate and overcome. Validate means come from a place of understanding, understand where they're coming from. Overcome with stories. Okay, overcome with stories. Maybe you have your own story like I did, and the story I shared about myself was absolutely true. I was nervous as hell to put, at the time it was like $110 or something like that for a vitamin pack. We didn't have Shakeology at the time, or challenge packs 6 years ago. And I was nervous to put, that through my credit card, because I was the kind of guy that had all these maxed out credit cards. And, usually I would pay a few $100s off and then I'd run it back up over the course of a couple of weeks, right? And I know that there's probably people on here that understand that, but I'm telling you guys right now, it's completely changed my life, right? I mean, I'm doing something I love. I'm able to help people. If we can just help this person see that it's an opportunity, that it's not an expense, it's an investment that could pay them back more than what it cost them, then it's going to be something that they'll be willing to do. Everybody understand that? Validate and overcome. Okay, and then use would you. If I could show you a way, would you be willing? Okay, if I could show you how to break even, would you be willing to get started and take that chance with me? Right? Everybody understand that? Okay, so that's with the money objection. Let's do it from a challenger side, and I'll use Liz this time. So let's say that Liz is a challenger, okay? And Liz, we could just do the money thing as well. That's fine. So let's say Liz is a challenger. She's looking at getting a 21-day fixed challenge pack or a T25 challenge pack or something. Let's just do T25. It's $205, right? Liz is someone who has been, wanting to lose weight. She saw me posting on Facebook. She reached out to me. We started talking. It seems like something she wants to do. I went ahead and 5-stepped her. So she reached out to me. And she said, hey, what's this T25 thing about? Or what's this challenge group thing about? I have about 15 pounds I'd like to lose before the summer because I'm nervous to wear my bikinis, right? Let's just say that. And then I 5-stepped her, and I said, oh, great. Well, tell me more about that. What has you wanting to lose 15 pounds? What has you interested in this challenge group? And I would flip it on her, and I would ask her questions. Let's say that so we get to the point. I sent her the video. We're going to follow up. And in the follow-up, she's going to give me an objection. So here we go. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Liz, what's going on? It's Tommy. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that video I sent you?
I did.
Great. What'd you like about it? It was the 21-day. It was the Have You Ever Felt Like This video, by the way. Great. What'd you like about it?
Oh, I thought it was great. It gives everything that I would need. I really like the idea of like the support groups.
Okay, awesome. What did you like about the support groups?
I just like that I'm going to have somebody to keep me on track, because if I don't, then I won't do it.
Okay. So time out. When I follow up, I'm still forming her. I'm still asking her questions. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? I didn't just follow up and say, hey, you ready to go? This is why I don't get a lot of objections, because I do it this way. I actually ask more questions. And I let her convince herself this is something good for her. This is what she likes. She needs this, blah, 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 right? So I don't get as many objections as someone who's just starting out, only because of the way I approach them and how I ask them questions. Everybody understand that? So, so great, Liz, this sounds like something that you're definitely ready to do. So why don't I go ahead and give you the deal? The deal is this. You're going to invest in your challenge pack, which is going to come with all three things that you need: fitness, nutrition, and support. Okay. You're going to get the full T25 fitness program that comes complete with the workout calendar. I'm going to tell her everything she gets. Do you see how I'm building up value right now? I'm reminding her, hey, you're getting all this stuff for a little investment, which is going to come with also the nutritional guide that's going to tell you exactly how many calories to eat and give you some great recipes. You're also going to get your first month of the Shakeology meal replacements. And as we know, nutrition is 80% of the results. And so you're going to want to make sure that you're drinking that every single day. Our challengers who get the best results are making sure they drink that every day. In fact, you'll get a recipe calendar with that, and you can try all of the various recipes that are on it. I suggest you try 5 or 6 to figure out which way you like it. But then you're also going to get the online support and accountability of me as your coach and the group that we put you into. That group is absolutely awesome. There's a lot of us in there that have been doing Beachbody for a while, and all of us can help you get those great results that you really want to get and get you losing that 15 pounds in time for the summer so you can wear that bikini and not feel embarrassed about that. All of that comes for an initial investment of $205. And since you're ready to enroll, how would you like to cover that, with a credit or a debit card?
I guess I would probably use a debit card. I just don't know if I can do the 200 right now.
Okay, well, tell me more about that.
Well, I mean, I have twins, so we're really big into sports right now, so I'm putting out a lot of money towards that, and I don't know, I just have a lot of bills to pay, and I don't know, right now 200 just seems like a lot.
Okay. Well, I can tell, this is where I'm going to validate and overcome, right? Okay, I'm going to validate and overcome. I asked her more about that. I want to know her situation. Well, Liz, listen, I can totally understand that. And a lot like you, when I first started out with Beachbody, I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to afford it. And I'm sure that you already know how drastically it's changed my life. In fact, we have a lot of other moms and even single moms who are struggling week to week and are able to earn a few extra dollars as coaches. Are you serious about doing this and you honestly don't have the money? Or are you not serious about this and you're just afraid to tell me no? So write that down. Are you serious about this and you honestly don't have the money? Or are you not serious? This is Danny Johnson stuff, by the way. I did not come up with this. How I learned to talk like this is I listened to Danny Johnson's audios over and 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 over. And like a song, I learned how to say this stuff. It's like hitting a play button, okay? And trust me, it works. All right. So, Liz, let me ask you a question. Is this something? Are you serious about wanting to get started and you honestly don't have the money, or are you not serious about it and you're just afraid to tell me no?
No, I'm really serious about it. I want to do it, and the money part just makes me nervous. I don't know if I can cover it.
Well, I can totally understand that. If I could show you a way that you could earn enough money to go ahead and pay for it and do this for free, is that something you'd be willing to hear about?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. So you see how I flipped it? She gave me a money objection. A lot of people will get hung up on the objection. When they present you with an objection, our job is to present them with the solution to that objection. Do we have a solution to money? If people are struggling for money, do we have a solution for that? Can we present them with that solution? Now that's an opportunity for us to do what? Put coaching in front of them and let them know, hey, with just 3 or 4 people, you know, and so I might ask her some questions about that, right? And I might start 5-stepping her on coaching. And I'm going to show her the coaching video. So let's just finish out that role play here, Liz. So Liz, if I could show you a way that you could earn enough money to actually pay for your challenge package for free, would you be willing to hear about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you be willing to hear about it? Would you be willing to consider it? And either of those, right? Great. Well, why don't I ask you a few questions and we can go from there?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so what did I do? I just now set up 5-stepping her for coaching. Does that make sense? That's what I did with her. Liz, I promise you, Liz is going to be a coach and she's going to bring in like 2 or 3 challengers now so she earns enough money and she doesn't have any expenses. Okay. So I just said, okay, why don't I ask you a few questions, and I'm going to start the 5 steps all over again, but this time for coaching. Everybody understand that? And now when I send her the video, I'm going to send her the introducing Team Beachbody video and let her see what we do as coaches to earn money. That's all. Everybody got that? Okay. So objection handling 101. If I do the 5 steps right, I will get fewer objections. As long as I got to master 2 things as a coach when it comes to prospecting and getting people to join our groups and all of that stuff. It's in their best interest that we become really good at this, because we know that if they say yes, that it potentially can be drastically life-changing for them on both the fitness and the income side, right? We know we're starting them down a journey of positivity where they're going to get introduced to everything that we do eventually, and so I know that it's well worth the money. And I'm going to tell her that. Listen, Liz, I know that it's well worth every dollar that you're going to spend, and I can understand why you're hesitant, because right now it seems like a lot of money. But if I could guarantee that as long as you follow it exactly as it's written, that you're going to get the results you want, would you be willing to say yes?
Sure.
If I could, would you? If you're reading GoPro, if I would you is always, I'm trying to come into agreement. If I would you. Okay. Do we know if she follows the program exactly like it's written and she does everything we ask her to do? If she pushes play, she drinks the shake, she follows the nutrition, she engages with the challenge group. If she does the whole challenge group, is she going to get results? Hell yes. I've never had one. Now, if she's not getting results because she's not doing one of those 3 things, then that's on her, right? She's not following the program. Okay. So validate and overcome. Are you serious about this and you honestly don't have the money? Are you serious about this and you honestly don't have the time? If I could help you find a way to earn or get the money, would you be able to do it? Right. So if I would you, all of those things. So listen, guys, you're not going to master objection handling in one call. I want you guys to understand that. I also want you guys to understand that you're going to run into some people that have objections. I have a girl, honestly, for 3 straight years, she reaches out to me. Liz knows this girl. It's a true story. We both live locally, okay? But she started talking to me about joining Beachbody as a challenger and a coach like 3 years ago. And every year it's the same thing. Well, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I've done all of the objection handling. There's nobody better at this than I am. So I did all the objection handling with her, and every year it's the same thing. Well, when I get my tax return, right? When I get my tax return, and then every year, come tax return time, I follow up with her. She's still on my list, and I always laugh because she says, well, we already spent the tax return. We had to pay this, and this, and this, right? And I've actually just spoken truth to her, and I've said to her, I said, listen, you know that I love you. You know that I wouldn't lead you wrong. I know this is something that could potentially help you, but quite honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're still full of excuses. So do you still want to be struggling with your bills a year from now or not? Sometimes you have to be direct with people, okay? Sometimes you have to be direct with people. They keep giving you the runaround. Listen, they're not hurting me any. They're hurting themselves. They're giving me the runaround. They're not giving me the runaround. They're giving themselves the runaround. So sometimes it's up to us to stop their merry-go-round and say, enough, right? Enough. Hold on a second. Do you want to still be struggling with your weight a year from now? Because if you don't change something, then you're never going to change. So either you want this or you don't. That's another way to handle it. But, and I know there was somebody in the page that says, I used that method and the girl thought I was being pushy, right? So I use that when I feel it's time. Does that make sense? I use that when I have the relationship with the person where I can put their feet to the fire, I can call them on the carpet, and they know that I have their best interests at heart. Does that make sense? And I always predecess that with, listen, you know that I love you. You know that I have your best interest at heart. And you know that I would never do anything to hurt you, which is why I have to tell you, if you don't stop your excuses, nothing's going to change, and you're still going to be sucking at life here 6 months from now. Do you want your life to suck 6 months from now or not? Right? Period. Okay. So sometimes it's that straight ahead deal. Do you want this or not? I call it hitting the fast forward button. Sometimes you have to help somebody by hitting the fast forward button and showing them where their life is going if they keep making the same choice to make excuses, right? So anyway, like I said, you're not going to master objection handling off the bat. You're not going to master the 5 steps off the bat. This is an introduction to everything. But I promise you this, if you stick around, right, if you keep coming back to the team. So here's what I would do. When you run into things, if you're not sure how to handle it, right now you have this 3-week window where you have our attention, our time, right? People who have done this and who are doing this. So if you run into a situation that's out there and you're not sure how to handle it, before you even respond, come back and ask the team, right? Come back and ask the team and give us the situation. Say, hey, I've got this girl. This is where we're at. This is what I've done. And this is what she said. How would you respond to this? Right? And you're going to get the leaders who have been doing this for months or years with success, who are making several $100 a week already, helping you. How many of you would like to get help, would like me to say, okay, I'll help you with that. This is what I would do, right? But it's up to you to bring it back to us. And as you do that, you'll start learning. You'll start learning what we're doing. Does that make sense? So, but again, this can get overwhelming, and I don't want to overwhelm you. You guys are doing a great job. Okay, keep focused on starting that group. I would start looking because the end of the month is coming, right? We have like 12 days till the end of the month. The end of the month is coming, so I would really start thinking about trying to get to Emerald before the end of the month and mapping that out. What does that look like? I need 2 coaches, right, of my own. I need one on my right leg and one on my left leg. Who do I have that, and I would make a list of people that could potentially be prospects. Who do I have that have already done Beachbody and love it? Who do I have that maybe could use some extra money working from home and wouldn't mind doing it in health, fitness, and weight loss? Who do I have that might want to save some money and could see themselves doing this long term? Okay, if I had a spouse, the first thing that I personally would do would be sign up my spouse, because in the long run you'll make more money with that account if you keep doing it. And I have no incentive to tell you guys that. I'm not going to make an additional dime if you sign up your husband or wife or not. But quite honestly, if knowing the business the way I know it, if your plan is to stick around and your plan is to see this through, it's not to come and go, it's not to disappear. If your plan is to see it through, I would get that spouse account in place, and down the road you'll see the benefit of that greatly. Tina and Liz both, right? They both have a husband account. Their husband doesn't do anything. They build the husband account and they're making money in both accounts now. Does that make sense? Okay, and they can order, if they order samples, they order additional product, they order it through the husband and they earn money. They save the discount and they earn money that way. That makes sense. So I would map that out. What does that look like? How am I going to get in Success Club? How am I going to get to Emerald? Who do I have to follow up with? Okay, if I run into a brick wall, what am I going to do? I'm going to come back and ask the team. I'm going to ask for some guidance. Be humble enough to come back and ask for a little bit of guidance, and we'll help you navigate that. Everybody understand that? Ask for guidance. Ask for a 3-way call. Say, hey, I got this guy. I don't know what to do. What should I do? All right, and we'll help you from there. So you guys are doing great. Now listen, next week we are actually going to be a lot of the leadership team is going to be on the cruise. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but as Beachbody coaches, if you hit Success Club several months, you can earn free trips, right? So this year's free trip was a cruise. Cozumel. Next year's free trip is to Cancun. Before Beachbody, I had never, ever got on a plane and fly to anywhere other than Columbus, Ohio, right, which is in my home state. But I've earned a lot of free trips and stuff like that through Beachbody. So you guys can earn that free trip too. I just want you guys to know. But we're going to So next week's call is probably either going to be a recording or we're going to find another leader to host it and cover a topic with you guys. All right. But either way, you're going to have something. It's either going to be homework posted on that day, which is going to be a recording, or it's going to be a call. We'll let you guys know that after I meet with the leaders and see how to handle that. All right. So guys, thank you for your time. We've been here for 40 minutes. Would love to know your feedback, what helped you tonight. So I want you guys to go back in the page, and I want you to post like the 1 or 2 things that you thought were the most helpful tonight that we talked about. So guys, thank you for your time, and we'll be talking to you next week. Keep doing those daily assignments and keep learning and keep doing your best. I'll talk to you later.